Hello and welcome into the Sporting JAX Report along with Mauricio Ruiz. I'm Cole Pepper, and boy, do we have some great soccer to get to here, including the team that may be having the most fun of anybody in the country right now. They had a big win over the weekend. We'll get to that and the Premier League title chase coming right down to the wire. That's in a moment. But first, I want to remind you to become a member of Sporting JAX. Just go to sportingjax.com, sign up. It's absolutely free. You get discounts on Sporting JAX official club merchandise, invitations to attend exclusive insider events, automatic entries into competitions for chances to win special prizes and experiences, and you'll receive the Sporting JAX monthly email newsletter. Plus, while you're there, you can place your deposit on a season ticket and receive first access to seats and special limited edition Sporting JAX founding member pins. Just go to sportingjax.com. All right, before we get to USL, let's talk about the Premier League, because this has been one of the most entertaining and intriguing title chases in the Premier League in years.
Really, and at the bottom, at the top, and really kind of in the middle, in that the Europa spot. And there's some teams that really, you look at where Chelsea is. I mean, there's a storyline everywhere, all over, and the level's been really good, and so many little kind of intricacies that you can really pick from.
May I rewind just a bit? We did this at the beginning of the Premier League season. We picked who we thought would win the Premier League.
Who did I pick?
Who did you pick?
Arsenal?
Yeah, and I picked Man City. Let's take a look at the table. Right now, Arsenal on top by a point. Man City, game in hand, and just a point behind. And if you look at what's coming up here for Arsenal, again, 80 points from 35 matches. Saturday they'll take on Bournemouth at home. Then Sunday, May the 12th, at Manchester United. That could be the pivotal match of the entire campaign. Then May 19th, they'll take on suddenly resurgent Everton. And that's the way to wrap things up for Arsenal. Man City, Saturday home at Wolves, and then at Fulham on Saturday, May 11th. Then a Wednesday matchup at Spurs before wrapping up the season at home against West Ham in a game that they might have to win in order to win the Premier League. Liverpool probably ran out of juice. You see 75 points from 35 matches. They take on Spurs on Sunday. Then the following Monday at Aston Villa. That will be a tough one. You see Villa there sitting in fourth. And then they wrap up May 19th against Wolves. So the question here really boils down to Arsenal and Man City, doesn't it?
It really does. And if you think about even what's happened the last couple of years, and they've been in that contention, Arsenal always crumbles for some reason or another. And even if they finish perfectly here and City does what they should do, I mean, imagine if there's two wins and then it comes down to the very last game and all they need is a point to kind of get through. I mean, they're champions. They're champions for a reason. Arsenal doesn't really have that in their blood right now. They need that in order to kind of get into that sphere. But this will be Pep's fourth title. And I don't think he's really going to pass that up. And he's got his team rolling right now, and they've adjusted things. And Arteta, I mean, the best he can do, it's all he can do, and he may not be good enough.
Well, we're going to see. So you think Man City's going to take it now based on where we are?
Based on where we are with 1 point ahead, I mean, those guys are champions, right? They know what's at stake, and it's not like they have one more game to really triple here, but I don't see them tripping up. I think with 3 games in, they'll take care of business. No game is easy. Right, everyone's going to be fighting for something, but I don't see City not winning this.
Of course, at the top of the table, there's the run for the championship. At the bottom, it's relegation. Already, Sheffield United has been relegated, has clinched relegation. They're going down to the championship. But you see, Nottingham Forest, Luton Town, and Burnley all waiting right there within 2 points of one another. Forest has what you would think would be a fairly easy one at Sheffield United this weekend. Then Saturday, May 11th against Chelsea. That'll be a tough one for Forest. And then at Burnley to wrap up. And that might be a game that determines who else is going down. Luton Town in between will have Everton, West Ham, and Fulham on their schedule. What do you think here in terms of relegation? Who is going to save themselves and stay above that dotted red line?
You put your money on the team that has the most talent and has more invested in it. So you think Nottingham Forest, they really shouldn't be in this position. To be fair, I know they've been deducted a few points. That's why they're in this position. But nonetheless, it's a big project that they have there. They really shouldn't be fighting for relegation. So that's where you put your money. But there's a reason why they're there as well. I think that the favorite is going with Luton Town.
Oh.
I think they're everyone's favorite. I think everybody would love for them to stay up. Burnley hasn't done enough throughout the season, even though they have some of the pieces. their coach company. He's got the team going in the right direction. But as you mentioned, it's 2 points that separates all three of them. But two of them will go down. One of them stay up. I would love to see Luton Town stay up.
I know you had a chance to see Luton Town and take in some of that atmosphere earlier in the year, so we'll see how it all plays out. This is why promotion relegation creates so much drama at the end of the season for so many teams. All right, let's now look at the USL Championship, how things have all gone down. Big weekend here this weekend for USL Championship teams, especially a couple of them scoring goals, both Louisville City and Charleston Battery with 6-0 wins, and you see these scores. Memphis wins 3-0. You've got no draws on this entire board here in this week of scores. Quite a performance when you start talking about entertaining games around the league.
Yeah, and one thing, it's either it's really, really good attacking or really bad defending, if you would, and each game's a little bit different. We're going to see here in a little bit in our game of the week, Battery versus Vegas, and there's probably more bad defending in that game, but give every team credit. But that's the beauty of the game, right? You look at scores like Memphis versus Birmingham. I would have not put 3-0 for Memphis against Birmingham. Phoenix at Rhode Island, that was a good game, but goals change games. And if you can get a couple guys that can put a goal away, it just changes the dynamic of the game, and all of a sudden your game plan is broken.
8 of the 12 matches over the weekend were clean sheets as well. So we did see some very good defending. Let's look at the standings here, starting with the Western Conference. Sacramento Republic on top right now, unbeaten, 18 points from 8 games. Republic continue to look very good. Is there a surprising team here at the top of the Western Conference standings to you?
Well, it has to be Monterey Bay. Last year they were middle of the pack, typically middle to bottom of the pack. Sometimes they'll kind of creep up, but the fact that they're sitting here right underneath Orange County, you would expect the Sacramento and Orange County to be there. And then New Mexico as well. I think last year was a disappointing year for them, so I'm not surprised to see them where they are. We talked about in the beginning of the year when we did previews that they could score with anyone, but they leak a lot of goals, and that's been true. But their scoring prowess has kept them up at least.
All right, let's look in the East now, where right at top it's Charleston Battery, the Eastern Conference champs from last year. Again, talking about they're averaging 2 points per game this year. That is going to be very good. They're undefeated. Tampa Bay also undefeated right now. The Rowdies 3 wins, 4 draws, so that's why they're in 4th. But Detroit City has to be the story of the first couple of months here of the season when you talk about at least the Eastern Conference and not the entire league.
Well, it really has, and obviously Battery, they're defending champions in the East, and they're at 18 points out of 9 games. But look at Detroit in 3rd place; they're at 15 points in 6 games. So once they complete their run here, and they had some U.S. Open Cup, which is why they have less games. But they're about as an impressive run. I know they're not undefeated, but it's about as an impressive run as anyone's having across both conferences.
All right, let's take a look at our match of the week, and it certainly was one to enjoy if you were a Charleston Battery fan. Charleston at home taking on the Las Vegas Lights. Las Vegas has been much better this year, but boy, mistakes everywhere in this one.
Yeah, and this is a West Coast travel to the East Coast, midday on a Saturday, Sunday afternoon, just hot over here, and just what a beautiful little ball from Mikasa. And no one hotter in the league right now, Cole, than the Marcanic.
Yeah, Nick Marcanic with the goal there, and then taking advantage of a error here, MD Myers on the other end of it for Charleston.
And you see MD Myers there on the replay. He fights for that first ball. He does a lot of that unsung hero work for their team, and then he does a bit of the cleanup job here when you're going to give him a chance like that.
All right, 30th minute now. As you take a look at another mistake, and Marcanic right there to put it away.
Well, you see another mistake from the back line and the goalkeeper, just bad communication there, just a bad day in the office, and this is a lot harder than it looks like. It's an open goal, but it's a good distance.
Really was, and then shortly thereafter, 37th minute, after a penalty called in the box, the PK, and Marcanic puts it away for the hat trick. He wasn't done.
No, he was not. And if someone's on a brace, you give him the PK so you can get the 3rd, and then why not get the 4th? And just really nice goal. But look at this defense from Vegas. Nobody there. I mean, the guy's on a hat trick, and you leave him wide open.
All kinds of room for him to operate there. Then in the 81st minute, how about this shot from distance?
Hey, at this point, 5-0 up, you're shooting from everywhere, and Aaron Malloy, he's got this in his bag. This is probably the nicest goal of his career, and he's had a really, really good career. But what a performance from the Battery. What a statement performance from them. Vegas did not travel well. They're a new team, young team. They're still sitting well in the stand, but they're gonna pack their bag, they're gonna take their shower, go home, and just forget about this performance.
6 goals out of 9 shots on target for Charleston, only 1 shot on target for Las Vegas. So talk about how lopsided that one was. It was the game of the week for Charleston, certainly was not for Las Vegas. Hey, we invite you to join us for the Sporting Pod, our weekly podcast with Tony Allegretti, Mauricio Ruiz, and myself. And this past week, Becky Burley joined us to discuss the trend of clubs with men's and women's teams branding under one club name like Sporting JAX. We can also answer your questions or comments. If you have one to share with us, just send it to us at thesportingpod@sportingjax.com. You can find The Sporting Pod on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon. We leave you with our goal of the week. We go to Rhode Island, where Noah Fusion found Clay Holstad, and look at that off the rare direct kick from inside the box. Creative design and flawless execution. Despite the goal, Phoenix Rising won it 3-1. For Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks for watching the Sporting JAX Report.
Not closed yet for Rhode Island with a banger of a goal.
Special players make special plays and special moments. Pick that one out. Wow.